Audio test 1, 2, 3. This is the facilitator microphone, and I'm just providing some audio input to confirm that we have audio running through and broadcasting through YouTube and Zoom. Audio test. I'm going to go to the podium mic now. Podium mic 1, 2, 3. Audio test on the podium mic 1, 2, 3. Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Good morning to our attendees who are joining us here in the board hearing room. If there's any member of the public who wishes to offer general public comment or commentary on any of our agendized items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room on the table. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on. Hand it to me, I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us virtually on the Zoom platform. I do see a couple of hands raised. I'm going to go through and ask you to identify yourself and which item you'd like to speak on. I'll record that information and call upon you when we get to your item. Good morning, Children's Voices Matter.
Good morning. I would like to have public comment, please.
Very well. I'll have you down for public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand, put you back on mute. And I'll move next to Yvonne. Good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning. I'd like to have public comment and items minutes number 2 and 3.
Very well. I have you down for public comment. Minutes?
Oh, and number 6. So,
Okay. It's up to 3. So
okay, yeah.
We'll put you down for minutes 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah.
Very well. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. Give me 1 second, please. All right, this is again TJ Knight welcoming the attendees who are joining us here in the board hearing room. Welcome to city staff, members of the public. If there's any members of the public who wish to offer commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on and hand it to me. On the virtual platform, I see Audit LA has your hand raised. Good morning, Audit LA.
Good morning, TJ. I want public comment, and I'm going to try to plow through as many items as I can in my time.
All right, very well. I have you down for public comment and all items on the agenda this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. It is 9:47. If there are, I will make another call out in approximately 10 minutes if there are additional attendees who raise their hand and would like to offer commentary. And we should get started with the board meeting in approximately 13 minutes. Thank you. Good morning again to our attendees who are joining us here in the board hearing room. Good morning to city staff, executives, members of the public. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer public comment on any of our items or general public comment, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record, and I'll call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. If you would like to offer commentary, please raise your hand. I currently have Children's Voices Matter, Yvonne, and Audit LA who've indicated that they wish to offer commentary. And I do see a couple of additional hands raised. I see Laura. Would you like to offer commentary this morning, Laura?
Yes, please.
Would you like to offer general public comment?
General public and then on the minutes.
You broke up on the last part.
Sorry, general public and then on the minutes.
And the minutes, very well, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, CJ.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put you back on mute, lower your hand. Gigi, would you like to offer commentary this morning?
Yes, please, general and minutes as well.
Very well, I have you down for general public comment and the minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and lower your hand, put you back on mute. The time is 9:56. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 4 minutes. Thank you. Good morning to our attendees who are joining us here in the board hearing room. Good morning to city staff and executives. If you would like to make a public comment, please listen to my instruction. Public commenters should fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. If there are, and good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. If there are any additional members of the public who wish to offer commentary, please raise your hand at this time. I'll record your information and call upon you when we reach your item. And I do see a couple of additional hands raised on the virtual platform. Miriam, would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Good morning, TJ. Yes, I would. Thank you.
Thank you. I have you down for public comment. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. Marianne King, would you like to offer a comment this morning?
Yes, on item number 6.
I have you down for item 6. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. I haven't seen them. President Kang, we are now ready to begin. We are in record mode.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Yes, good morning, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell are present. We do have a quorum. Commissioner Cardenas is out on pre-scheduled approved vacation. We are joined by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. President Kang, we have one public comment in the hearing room. We have one single item commenter in the hearing room. We have a special comment by our Bureau Executive in the hearing room. And then on the virtual platform, we have 6 public commenters, 3 single item commenters, and 2 multiple item commenters. We have no neighborhood council commentary this morning.
All right, so thank you very much. So before we get started with public comment, I would like to first proceed with our special presentation, which is a recognition of the Public Works Bureau for National First Responders Day. As many of you know, yesterday was the National First Responders Day, where we uplifted many of our first responders. And we also wanted to do the same within the Department of Public Works here at the City of Los Angeles. So leading our presentation this morning is 2 of our commissioners, Commissioners Faith Mitchell and President Pro Tem John Grant. So the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Today we gather to acknowledge and show our deep appreciation for the extraordinary efforts of our public works bureaus during the Palisades wildfire and thereafter in recognition of National First Responders Day. While our frontline emergency services, the firefighters, paramedics, and law enforcement officers rightfully receive widespread recognition for their actions, it is crucial to shine a light on the vital, often unseen work that forms the bedrock of their success, excuse me, and ensures the safety and well-being of our community. The wildfire was a significant and harrowing challenge for our city and provided an undeniable reminder of the indispensable contributions of our public works employees, proving that public safety is truly a collective endeavor. Our public works teams were instrumental in a multitude of ways, demonstrating dedication and expertise during the active blaze, as they have continued to do so throughout 2025. Their responsibilities encompassed a wide spectrum of critical tasks. During the height of the Palisades fire, they worked tirelessly, often in hazardous and rapidly evolving conditions. Public works staff were on the ground providing support throughout the fire and staffing the Emergency Operations Center 24/7 for multiple days. Their coordination and unwavering presence were essential. After the fires were extinguished, the work continued with the same level of dedication in post-recovery. They assessed damage, coordinated with their contractors in clearing debris basins and removing trees while clearing storm drains and sewers, debris from the streets, and restoring streetlights. They staffed disaster recovery centers, providing services to those Angelenos hardest hit by the fires, and participated in community meetings with city, state, and federal agencies, as well as county, to provide updates to constituents.
Now we'll have a brief slideshow presentation, but first, some background on National First Responders Day. We've known this for a long time, since all of our work, that in fact, public works bureaus are the first responders. But in 2003, President George Bush issued Policy Directive 8, which officially recognized public works professionals as first responders. The American Public Works Association then adopted Public Works First Responder symbol to identify and honor their vital national role. 16 years later, in 2019, the United States Senate passed a resolution designating October 28th as honoring the nation's First Responders Day, specifically including public works. And in some parts of the universe. Today is October 28th, so that's why we're celebrating it today. We're not late at all. The National Incident Management System also recognized public works personnel alongside police and fire services as essential first responders. Now we're going to highlight some of the work that our bureaus did in regards to the wildfire.
Starting out with the Bureau of Contract Administration, here's the summary of work that was performed by that bureau. They had 17 employees who put in 3,851 hours, 0.5, we got 3,581.5 hours of work. They made 1,205 permit site visits for fire debris removal and response to 47 constituent calls. They helped to manage and coordinate the removal of debris at debris basins and other locations, which encompass 29,000 cubic yards and the placement of 13,500 feet of K-rails at 51 locations.
The Bureau of Engineering really did extreme heavy lifting during this period of time. 180 employees worked 9,385 hours. They inspected 19 bridges and culverts, of which 11 had been damaged. Repairs were completed on 4. 3 are in construction and 3 needed further evaluation. They helped to coordinate the emergency storm drain response contractors to remove between 15 and 20,000 cubic yards of debris from 7 debris basins and issued over 3,000 permit clearances. They conducted hillside assessments and worked with their fellow bureaus to coordinate contractors to install K-rolls, as mentioned in the previous slide, to protect against mud and debris flow.
Over an 8-day period between late January and early February, the Bureau of Sanitation's Livability Services Division had 57 employees work 1,532 hours. They removed 198 tons of debris at 381 service locations. Solid Resources field staff went out, removed damaged collection bins and replaced them, and as well as monitoring for water quality by clean water staff.
But this work couldn't be done in the dark, so the Bureau of Street Lighting stepped up and had 99 employees work 2,742 hours. They installed 55 solar lights, removed 51 poles that had been damaged, replaced 58 with solar poles, and repaired 120 circuits. They had 65 employees also in the Disaster Service Worker Program who worked a total of nearly 1,000 hours in various roles.
Street Services did approximately 5,000 tree assessments and issued 23 urban forestry clearances. They also provided oversight for a contractor to remove 776 trees, 389 stumps, and prune 950 trees. In addition, urban forestry staff was led on tree permitting and ongoing assessments, while investigation enforcement staff have also handled permits and illegal dumping, surveillance, and enforcement.
Public Works, with all that they do, are, and I really like this phrase, the silent arm of public safety, and often without fanfare. This morning, we're giving thanks and gratitude and fanfare to our public work bureaus. They're a core, integral component of our city's resilience, embodying the spirit of service and protection. Their expertise, their foresight, and their relentless efforts are a source of immense pride in our entire Public Works family, and we extend our deepest thanks for their unwavering commitment. And now we're going to honor and present certificates of recognition to the various bureaus together.
First, we're going to start out with the Bureau of Contract Administration. I understand and represented by Angela Martinez. Who's going to accept? Bill. Bill? Yes. Oh, and William Benson, who I understand just got a promotion. What is that?
Chief Construction Inspector.
There we go. Chief Construction Inspector. You bring them up fast, don't you, Angela? All right. So you're gonna. Why don't you get in between? Thank you so much. The Bureau of Engineering, represented by Alfred Mata, the interim city engineer. Bureau of Sanitation, represented excuse me. Bureau of Sanitation, represented by General Manager Barbara Romero.
Thank you.
Huh? It's too late now. Street lighting, represented by Fabian Chang. And last but not least, represented by General Manager Keith Mose and Assistant General Manager Nick Lopez. Double win. Anybody want to say something?
I'll just say a few words. Board President, Commissioners, colleagues, basically, I'll just say for the Public Works and the Bureau of Street Services, we are first responders. While people are at home, sleep in their beds late at night, we're out there, removing debris, making sure our sewers are clear and open and things of that nature. And we do this tirelessly. During the pandemic, for instance, Bureau of Street Services stood up farmers markets where places of gatherings were to keep people safe. During wind event and windstorms, we're out there picking up trees and other debris. During the riots, we're out there post recovery, making sure that basically, again, our roads are safe and clear. And this is not just the effort of the Bureau of Street Services, but all of Public Works in general. We work collectively as a family to get things done. And I'll give you for example, during the water main break at UCLA on Sunset, it was the entire Public Works family that restored Sunset Boulevard years ago to basically restore it back to its natural condition over the weekend and things of that nature. During earthquakes, we make sure that our roads are safe and passable. And then, like I say, everybody's in their beds, sleep at night, things are getting done. And this is to maintain continuity of operations for the city to make sure that there's a quick post-recovery. And this goes for the Palisades fire as well, to where we're doing everything we can to make sure that that community recovers as quickly as possible, and we do everything in our powers to make that happen. So thank you for honoring us, and really appreciate it.
Street, Fabian, did you want to say anything on behalf of street lighting?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate the Bureau of Street Lighting, this recognition. All of our employees worked hard in this effort. One thing that I do want to mention and highlight is that we were able, as part of the recovery, we were able to replace almost 100 streetlights, repair actual infrastructure by way of solar streetlights. We use this as an opportunity to provide this type of lighting as an option rather than creating projects using an emergency purposes. So we're able to do that. While the work still continues, we look forward to replacing everything that was damaged in the next coming months. So thank you for this recognition.
Good morning. Thank you for the recognition for the Bureau, but most importantly for the staff, the men and women who are out there every day in the front lines doing this work. And they're, as first responders, they do this day in and day out. It is only in emergencies that it elevates what they're doing and showcases the strength and the resilience of our workforce. So thank you very much for this recognition.
Good morning. On behalf of the Bureau of Engineering, likewise, I'd like to thank the entire board and Commissioners Mitchell and Grant for taking this opportunity to recognize the important work all of our public works bureaus do in emergency response. You can see from the presentation and all the data of all the work that we've done, the hours that were performed. Our team is dedicated to responding and ensuring that the city is ready and resilient for any emergencies. So once again, thank you for recognizing the vital role we all play with our partner bureaus.
Good morning, Angela Martinez, representing the Bureau of Contract Administration. This is a perfect example of partnership between all of the bureaus. We responded immediately to every single emergency, rain event, and I have an individual with me here today, William Benson, who was on the front lines directing, coordinating all of his ESR emergency sewer repair staff to go and check every single debris basin and make sure all of the erosion control devices were in place. So I just want to commend everyone here today and thank you. We are truly first responders. Thank you.
All right, I think we're going to take a short recess to take a group photo. So if we can have all of our bureaus join us in the back here with the flag, we'll take a short 5-minute recess. The time now is 10:21. All right, Mr. Knight, would you like to reestablish quorum?
Yes, President Kang, TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works, reestablishing quorum. We have President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell present. We're joined by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. It is 10:24.
Thank you. So before we took a short recess, I wanted to provide an opportunity for members of the board to provide additional remarks related to National First Responders Day. Vice President Chavez.
Thank you. Well, thank you to my colleagues, Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Grant, for so eloquently describing the scope and scale of the work of our public works teams and what they accomplished during and after the Palisades fire. So I won't I'll have to commit all those impressive numbers to memory. But what I want to add is this. When most people think of first responders, you know, obviously they picture firefighters coming in through the blazes, rushing into burning buildings, paramedics saving lives, and they should. But what the Palisades fire really revealed to us and to everyone is what we've always known, is that first response doesn't end when the flames are out. Our public works employees are the first responders who make it possible for the community to come back. They're the ones who clear the roads so that other emergency vehicles can pass through. They're the ones who restore the lights so people feel safe returning to their neighborhoods. And they're the ones who make sure that the water flows, the drains are clear, and the debris is cleared so that it doesn't become a hazard during the next rainstorm. And I want to especially acknowledge the bureau heads and general managers who led by example. I know many of you were on the front lines every single day, making sure their teams had everything they needed around the clock. And that kind of leadership, that quiet leadership, being present, being available, being in the trenches alongside your staff, that is what makes a difference between a coordinated response amid chaos. So thank you for doing this work without fanfare, often before dawn and long after dark. And I know that you do it because it needs to get done. So as we celebrate First Responders Day, we're proud to formally recognize what you've demonstrated through your actions. You are first responders, you are essential, and you are deeply appreciated. So thank you on behalf of the City of Los Angeles.
So thank you, Vice President Chavez, and thank you to Commissioner Mitchell and Grant for leading today's presentation. Once again, just wanted to echo and uplift many of the remarks that were stated earlier, and thank you to all of our brave men and women within the Department of Public Works for your heroic action, especially during times of emergency. So thank you very much. And with that, we will conclude our presentation and move forward with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the members of the public to address the board on public interest items, and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works, and the board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We do have in-person speakers. First up, we have Michael Ackerman.
Good morning. I listened to Monday's meeting and agree with the commenters who say there's a serious problem with the public comment system, especially written comments. The misunderstanding is expressed in your agendas where it says the public may address the board, whereas the true purpose of public comments is to address representatives and the public at the same time. Unfortunately, this problem arises from a serious dysfunction in local government where the people who should be alerting you to major problems just aren't doing it. My great hope is that you will acknowledge this failed oversight and act appropriately. In the meantime, I have some simple suggestions to fix your written public comment system, so I hope you can direct me to the proper person to correspond with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other commenters are single items, so you will be called once we are discussing that particular item. We will now pivot to our general public comment on the virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang, and we'll start this morning with Children's Voices Matter. You have 60 seconds to offer your public comment.
Greetings, everyone. I first wanted to say that where I got my information is sourced from They Should Not Have Died. I would like to use this minute as 1 minute of silence for Scientology Child X, another Child X, who was killed, run over by a car from a fellow Scientologist at Flag Base, Florida in the 1980s. Let the silence begin, please.
Thank you, caller. Unfortunately, that is not within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works, so we will proceed with our next public comment.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll move next to Yvonne.
Thank you. What is in your jurisdiction is Halloween permit number 2025-1156-2025. This permit, as of 8:30 this morning, has not been issued. It is on the non-issued list. And I want to advise you that there are 30 sex offenders on the registry living within 3/4 of a mile of this event. We also have testified in your presence to the fact that Scientology will not report a criminal to the LAPD if they are a Scientologist. Therefore, this permit should not be issued and the street should not be closed because there is not an ample enough time for the various bureaus you have just celebrated to do their due diligence regarding permits and
Thank you, Yvonne.
inspection.
That's 60 seconds, and we'll move next to Audit LA.
Good morning. I'm going to continue with what Yo was saying, that please do not give them this permit for Halloween. We've come and talked to you about slave labor and that they're not, and you may just think, oh, they're just volunteers. No, they aren't. These people have to work 110 hours for $47 and for the week. And they have to be perfect or else they lose their one day off on Saturday. If they don't execute everything perfectly, they don't get their one day off. They have to work that day too. So that's how it can go over those hours. And they never abide by any permits ever. They never have. I've yet to see, since I've been looking for over a year now, they've never abided by one. And it's just a recruitment tool to recruit people into this place so they can join the Sea Org and also find themselves in a condition where they can't get out. But many of these
Thank
people
you.
doing
That's
this
60
were raised
seconds.
in it.
And we'll move next to Laura FM.
Hi, I'm going to continue on that as well. So the permit for Halloween, there's supposed to be a certain amount of time. I know you guys say you're behind on permits or whatever. So there's supposed to be an amount of time that they ask for the permit. Okay, that's already wrong because Halloween is in 3 or 4 days here. So revoke that. Don't even let that happen. And don't let that happen. And revoke the L. Ron Hubbard Way fucking name. Please change the name back to North Berendo. Why is that so hard? Who is stopping this so much? Kendrick Moxon? Is it Kirsten Peterson? Why don't you guys do something? Do something with everything that we're saying. Not just do paperwork here and there. Do something that goes, wow, they actually listened to us. Revoke their permit. Do not give them the Halloween permit. It is not okay. They already violated the last one they had. They did not show their Friday permit. And investigate the person who is doing the permits. You have to investigate that person who is not showing on the record out loud to the city when Scientology.
Thank you. That's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to Gigi.
Yes. First of all, I want to speak about how there's people that are working for less than $47 a week there. I've heard numbers of, I think, $11 a week for over 100 hours of hard labor. How is that allowed in the world? Like, I don't get that, but especially how is that allowed in the United States? As far as the permits go, why is the portal for the permits so horrible? How come it's so hard for the public to see what permits have been issued? How come there's not enough information out there for the public? How come that information does not match what you guys have on information for the permit and there's conflicting things between what the public can see and what you guys can see? Like, can you please get the portal together? Can you please have more transparency with
That's
the permits?
60 seconds. Thank you. And we'll move next to Miriam.
Hi, I'm also going to continue on the permit because having a Halloween bonanza, as they are advertising on L. Ron Hubbard Way, is morbid. because in Scientology, it's always Halloween, it's always horror, it's always human trafficking, it's always slave labor, it's always brainwashing, it's always financial abuse, it's always elderly abuse, it's always child sexual abuse, it's always harassing protesters, it's always violating any kind of permits they have. I think it's horror enough without granting them any kind of Halloween event. Try and think about that a little bit. That's all.
And President King, that concludes the attendees on the virtual platform who have previously indicated that they wish to offer public comment. However, I do see an additional hand raised if you like, and there's 2.5 minutes left on the 10-minute clock.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Georgina McPhee, would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
Yes, please, TJ.
Go ahead.
I'm also going to continue about the permits. First of all, the street rights permit that Lara FM was just speaking of. How crazy is it that we have a street named after a cult leader, a human trafficking, family destroying cult leader? We don't have Ted Bundy Avenue, so why do we have L. Ron Hubbard Way? We don't have Charles Manson Way. Maybe we should change it to Charles Manson Way. Maybe that would be better, because I would prefer that, actually. And then the thing about the event permits, you know, they can request the moon and the stars in the sky. And what they're doing is they show their request, their permit request. When you ask to see the permit, they show you the request. Well, they can request whatever they want. That's not what was granted. So they take these leeways, they take advantages of the system. So you need to do what Gigi said and make the portal more accessible so that we can look up the permits, because they only ever show you the permit requests. As a consequence of this,
President King, that concludes public commentary.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close general public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We'll transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President King. Just a point of clarification. In addition to the 2 multiple agenda item commenters, we have 2 of the 3 single item commenters who expressed that they wish to offer commentary on the minutes. If you like, I can hear those after we hear the multiple agenda item commenters. Thank you. We will start with Lara FM.
Thank you. So can I talk about the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to talk about the minutes because to me, my life being raised in this cult of Scientology, it's super important that when I'm spending my day or people are calling in to Public Works, and whether you like it or not you directly or anybody indirectly, I'm just saying whether the board or the city finds it frustrating or annoying, that's not the point. The reason we're doing this is to have on the record that we've been calling and that Scientology is violating their permits. There's no way, it's not fair for somebody born and raised in this, okay? I'm not just a protester outside that wasn't, you know, a part of this, just has a beautiful passion. I was born and raised in this, so I'm telling you from my childhood heart, please do something about the minutes where it reflects that I'm calling in and that Jamie who wrote Child X, called in the book that we got to all you guys so that you have evidence of this type of stuff. So yes, please on the minutes, please put that very clear for the record. I would really, really appreciate it. That way we can see
That's
how long it took to get.
And moving now to multiple item commentary. We'll start with Yvonne and followed by Audit LA. Yvonne, you'll have 3 minutes to offer up to 3 minutes to offer your comments. Please indicate which item you're speaking on.
Sure. Regarding the minutes, you're also being shortchanged, the members of the board, on your comments and questions, and the answers to those questions are not being included in the minutes. The minutes should reflect what the topics were brought to you by the public. Number 2, the sewer digester lighting, absolutely. You need to have lighting on that equipment. Number 3, the water reclamation project. Total is $841,000. No, million, excuse me. Got my decimal point in the wrong place. At the current rate of adjustments in the recent past, you might as well just call that $1 billion and budget accordingly. Because you know they're going to have changes in the terms and conditions and additional tasks. Number 6, tree removal. Palm tree removal, it should be done. They are a hazard. They improperly watered, they bring up the sidewalks. The same phenomenon happens and is observed on Fountain Avenue, where the Scientologists top surface water their lawns, and that is causing the root structure of the trees on Fountain Avenue to uplift the sidewalk. There is a cure for that by putting in French drain type pipes so that the water feeding the trees is delivered down below, 10-foot level. I suggest that the arborist also check. There are 2 rotten trees there that are going to likely fall during the next massive windstorm, and their Sea Org members are currently without permits, taking the responsibility away from the city to do the pruning, and they are not arborists. They don't know what they're doing. They are standing on the back of a pickup truck with with improper equipment and safety practices. The city will be held liable if they fall out of their trees and or if the tree begins to fall. Thank you.
We'll move next to Adelaide, followed by Gigi.
Good morning again. I want to start off with the minutes, but I want to preface that by saying, I appreciate this commission that's sitting now, and I do respect each and every one of you. But I feel when it comes to public works, I feel there's like a lot, it's hard to get information sometimes, especially, like we were talking about, so many people discussed today, and it won't be mentioned in the minutes, that the frustration with the permit, the portal and everything, because and you have my emails, you have the emails that went around with street services and me, right? So I don't know if you've read that, but there's all this confusion and everything, and there doesn't need to be that confusion. And had you put the permits up right away, okay, onto the portal, we could read all the conditions, because I am going to be, a bunch of us are monitoring to make sure they're living by their permits. It's part, if the city's not going to take on, and this isn't being, and I want this reflected in the minutes, that if the city is not going to do their job, because budget reasons or whatever, and you don't have the inspectors to do it, then then it's up to the neighbors and the citizens who are concerned with these issues to do it. So, and I guess we're getting peonage wages because we're getting nothing, but it's okay because it is a passion and we're not forced to do it, right? I can go home and say, no, I'm not doing it. Like today, I didn't go in today, right? I had that choice. I'm not going to go into a prison, and whatever, and be punished and lose my day off by not coming in today. But the next one I want to speak about is the presentation. I was having mixed feelings at first because as a former firefighter, yes, I was, believe it or not, volunteer. I was like, what? First responders, how is this that? So I was really happy that Commissioner Grant gave like a little background and history on how public works workers are considered first responders. So that helped a lot for me to try to understand it. And I'm still a little confused, and it's no shade on any of the workers. I applaud and thank everyone who cleared the debris, who got the lead, everything that they did, help man the centers. I'm still confused a little bit on how that's a first responder rather than emergency respond, or but I do appreciate everything you guys are doing with all of that. And as far as the tree removal, yes, I agree. Everything with what Yvonne is saying about the trees, they are creating more. I can't pass down that, even though they like kind of try to saw it down, whatever, because they're getting pressure to do so. It's still bad. And so the trees need to be looked at. They need to be, and as you tear down other trees, we need to remember we need that canopy. We're going through another heat wave. And so we desperately need a good
Thank you. That's
canopy.
3 minutes. We'll move next to Gigi.
Okay, I actually want to speak on two things. I want to speak on the minutes and the presentation.
Go ahead.
Okay, so with the presentation, everyone deserves that recognition. I'm not trying to take that away, but I still am confused how they are considered first responders. I come from a family full of first responders, and that just doesn't sit well with me. But I am super glad that Commissioner Grant spoke on why they are considered first responders and let me know that it was George W. Bush, and that kind of tracks. To the minutes, how many times do people have to complain about the minutes for you guys to do something? I've looked at the minutes for several different meetings. Other meetings do it where they actually include stuff for the public comment and tell you what they're talking about. I have yet to find, while looking, another one where it doesn't list at least some brief mention of what specific topics were brought up by the public. It's very disrespectful to people that are coming in and speaking. There's no record of it. There should be a record of it. Thank you. I yield my time.
President King, that concludes the multiple and single item commentaries who had previously identified that they wish to offer commentary on the Zoom platform. However, there is an additional hand raised. If you like, I can.
Last speaker.
Georgina McPhee, would you like to offer single or multiple item commentary this morning?
Multiple, please.
Please indicate which item you're speaking on, and you have up to a total of 3 minutes.
Agenda item number 6 and the minutes.
So then you have up to a total of 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. For the minutes, I've been going on and on about why aren't you using the system you have at hand effectively so that you can show what the public comments were. You know, it's take very little work just to add a hyperlink to the public comments that were made. You have Granicus at your disposal. Sacramento uses Granicus. Most of the rest of the country uses Granicus. You need to task your tech department to do better. As far as agenda item number 6 with the tree removal, I understand trees need to get removed sometimes, but we do desperately need that canopy. When those trees are removed, I beg you to consider putting in native trees. Native trees are much more drought tolerant. We need the canopy. You can't just keep removing trees and exposing us to more and more sun. Please consider the native trees as a replacement. Thank you. I yield my time.
President King, that concludes single and multiple item agenda commentary. However, there are still a couple of single item commenters here in the room and one single item commenter on the virtual platform.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Monday, October 20th, 2025. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
I'll move.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
Thank you. Moving forward with agenda item 1, which is on consent. Commissioners, any discussion on this? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Very well. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 1, starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
Thank you very much. Item number 2, and then we'll go to number 5. Council District 15, emergency change order number 18.
Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Hafiz. I'm a project manager with the Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. Today, I'll be presenting on the Tremolo Island Water Reclamation Plant Digester Installation Replacement Project. This is project number CIP 245 located in Council District 15. The purpose of this board report is to approve emergency change order and preliminary change orders for design-related changes to address lighting system deficiencies and design modifications at the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant digesters. The board actions requested, we have 3 of them. The first is to authorize the issuance of emergency change order number 18 to procure and install 16 additional floodlights for a not to exceed amount of $200,000. Secondly, is the authorization to issue change order number 19 for a not to exceed amount of $238,000 to modify existing light pole designs at the south side of the plant. And lastly, to authorize the issuance of change order number 20 for a not to exceed amount of $150,000 to compensate 45 additional calendar days for time impacts. The total cost of the change orders being requested today is $588,000. I do want to add, I'll discuss this later in my briefing, that we are not requesting additional budget for this project. All of the change orders are within the allocated contingency, although we wanted to come to board for transparency regarding the fact that each of these change orders are above $150,000. A little bit of background about this quite exciting project, in my opinion. The contract for this project was awarded to PCL Construction on April 6, 2022 for $24,335,700 and a contingency of $1,216,765 for a total authorized construction budget of a little over $25.5 million. The project scope includes removal and disposal of toxic asbestos tiles, which were originally installed as a insulation material. In addition, we have replaced, in fact, the replacement of internal insulation and replacing that with stainless steel cladding. And then the renewal of armature, bridge facades, and the platform located on top of the digesters and replacing that with new cladding. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the installation of architectural lighting features to illuminate the digesters at night. Now, during the day, as far as construction is concerned, these digesters are very striking, made of stainless steel, and you can see them from across the Vincent Thomas Bridge. The lighting is supposed to mirror high-profile city landmarks like City Hall here and LAX, and eventually the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project, so we can add to the city's visual landscape for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. In addition to that, the wastewater treatment that Los Angeles, in partnership with our colleagues at LA Sanitation, conduct is world class. However, a lot of it becomes something that people don't very much notice. And so the intent of these digesters and the architectural lighting is so that we can bring attention to the amazing work that's happening at these plants and give them the rightful recognition that they deserve. So, with that said, the change order summaries are as follows. We have change order, emergency change order number 18, which is the additional floodlights of $200,000. The initial design from our consultant included color-changing LED light strips, but due to explosion risk and other prohibitive costs, the design was modified to use floodlights and laser lights. In order to make sure that these architectural lights met the design intent, there were 2 mock light tests that were conducted, one in September of 2024 and one of June of this year. And in these mock tests, we found that the laser lights failed to deliver the desired visual results. However, the floodlights exceeded our expectations, especially when we doubled up on the floodlights. So, emergency authorization was granted by Board President Commissioner Steve King on September 19th of this year to purchase these floodlights and avoid delays. And this change order will add 16 new additional floodlights to meet the design intent and improve the visual performance of the lights. Next up, we have change order number 19. This is for the South Perimeter light pole modifications. This is a change order for $238,000. And the design team during the design didn't account for a high-pressure influent line that interfered with the planned light pole installation on the south perimeter wall of the plant. The existing wall foundation also lacked the structural capacity to support the new light poles, and so a revised design was needed with bracket-mounted light poles and reinforced 8 sections of the wall with new footing so we could handle the additional weight. This requires limited demolition and reconstruction to ensure safety and utility clearance. Lastly, we have change order number 20. This is a time impact delay of a not to exceed amount of $150,000. This change order is required because incorporating change orders number 18 and 19 extends the project duration by 45 calendar days, which is compensable for the contractor. To go over the quick status of change orders, we have 20 change orders, including the change orders as part of this board report, for a total amount of $1,185,000, 246. $1,185,246.12, which accounts for approximately 4.87% of the contract, which is below our 5% contingency that we were awarded with. There is no impact to the general fund, and we were authorized by our oversight committee for this total approved budget. And so just to summarize very quickly, we're requesting issuance of emergency change order number 18, change orders number 19 and 20, and this will allow us to procure and install 16 new floodlights, modify light pole installations to address design conflicts, and cover time-related costs for 45 calendar days. These changes will help us ensure that the project meets both the design intent and the city's readiness goals for the World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. So that concludes my presentation. I'll open the floor up to any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? I know I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So moved.
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 2, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Aye. All ayes. Item 2 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving forward with next, we will go to item number 5 for Council District 6, Amendment number 1, MOA, Los Angeles Groundwater Replenishment Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Staff has a planned presentation, but I could not come up and recognize and talk about the significant milestone that we're here today to hopefully you consider and support our recommendation today. As some of us heard yesterday at DWP, this project is decades in the making. Our infrastructure projects usually take decades in the making. So, but once a decision was made to proceed in partnership with Department of Water and Power, you saw and you're going to see how effective and swiftly the staff has worked on this project. And there's two things that I want to highlight. First, the mechanism, the progressive design mechanism that was used in this project actually allows us the opportunity to, while they were in construction, for them to elevate that this was, we can double the size of the project and the impact and the cost benefits to doing it in this way and now, and to take that opportunity. But second, the staff that's working on this, their leadership and their resilience and their commitment to this legacy project is should not go unnoticed. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to share that with you today. So I'll now have Ryan Thija from where, oh, there he is, to go into further detail. So thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. All right. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Ryan Thija. I'm the Assistant Division Manager at LA Sanitation. For item number 5, Sanitation is asking the board to approve the Amendment 1 to the Memorandum of Agreement for the Los Angeles Groundwater Replenishment Program, construction and operation phase, for which the expiration date is 2059. So it's 34 years from today. We're recommending the board to approve and forward this report with the transmittal to the mayor for the authority to execute the proposed Amendment 1 to the WR 24-1000 agreement number. That's agreement between LA Department of Water and Power and Bureau of Sanitation for the construction and operations of the LAGWR, or Los Angeles Groundwater Replenishment Program. And upon authorizations by the mayor, president, or 2 commissioners of the Board of Public Works, and the general manager or designee of the Bureau of Sanitation to execute the MOA. So with that, I would like to go over some background information on this item. So LAGWR, in short, is a collaboration between Department of Water and Power and LA Sanitation, which was originally designed to produce up to 22,000 acre-feet per year, translates into about 25 million gallons per day of daily production from the program. The program includes several projects, individual CIPs, such as the Advanced Water Purification Facility, Primary Equalization Basin, Maintenance Warehouse Facility, Flow Bypass, and electrical substations. With the initial production rate, the MOA that is currently in effect covers up to $740 million with some contingencies. The reason for change amendment request today is that back in March, Water and Power and Public Works members jointly met to discuss the city's recycling efforts in general. At the meeting, the board members requested the departments to find ways to maximize the water recycling activities at the Tillman. So the design team went back to the drawing board and came up with a solution to almost double the capacity without making any further investments, too much investments in changes structurally. So what we got is today is an increase from 25 to 45 MGD, or 44,000 acre-feet of water for Angelenos. So that is enough water to provide drinking water supply for 500,000 people, not only in the valley, but throughout the city. So the doubling of the capacity will result in increase in the capital cost and a little bit on the O&M as well, which totals to about $190 million. Out of the $190 million, $160 million is for expanding the basement of the Advanced Water Purification Facility, upsizing the pipes, pumps, and other structures associated with the facility. We're also adding a new power substation to bring in additional power flow into the facility. That comes with the higher demand for purifying more water. So the changes in the agreement, in summary, include the expansion of the basement and other structures, process equipments, upsizing pipes and pumps, upgrades to the electrical equipment to meet the additional power demand, and construction of a preliminary flow recovery project, which is still in the preliminary design phase. The goal for that project is to increase the amount of flow that we can recover from the conventional process, and we think it will be able to, we'll be able to bring up to 2 to 3 million gallons per day of additional flow into the Advanced Water Purification Facility. Additional cost for these items, as I indicated, is estimated to be $190 million. Adding that value to existing MOA, which is $740 million, gives us $930 million for the entire agreement between the two agencies. Other provisions in the agreement remain the same, including the term of the agreements, which is 35 years from the date of the execution, which started last year. That was 2025. So in summary, for item number 5, it is our recommendation to approve and forward the item to the mayor's office for approval. And with that, since this is a wonderful joint partnership, if it's okay, I would like to invite my counterpart, Jesus Gonzalez, the manager of water recycling from Water and Power, to say a few words if he has time.
President Kane, commissioners, thank you again for allowing us to be here today. I want to echo what Barbara said, and I just want to emphasize those key points. This is a major milestone, not just for DWP or for LA San. It's a major milestone for the entire city. What Ryan was trying to say is that this is the largest water project in the entire state. So to be able to produce enough water supply for 500,000 people and to be in construction and to finish in 2 years, again, on the largest project in the entire state, it's a major, major step forward for the entire city in terms of developing new sustainable water supplies. I'll put it this way. I just walked obviously 2 blocks from our building at DWP, and I'm still sweating from the heat. And here we are in the middle of October with a lack of supply. It feels like a summer day. The need for developing sustainable, locally controlled water supplies as our climate is obviously changing is ever more present. So just want to thank the entire team, again, the joint partnership again between DWP and LA San, but not to be remiss, this board's leadership and vision to continue to support us So President Kane, Commissioner Mitchell, it means a lot to us that you were at our board meeting yesterday. Everybody recognized your presence, but all of you have been to the job site. So we're very grateful for that. And again, not to be remiss, but behind me is a world-class team. So our contractors, Jacobs, Kiewit, Walsh, it's the cream of the crop, but also our experts, Brandon Caldwell, Carollo, so many others. Our ability to take a project, which frankly was at a conceptual level 2 years ago. So in other words, to go from start to finish on a huge project in less than 5 years just shows the ability of the city in terms of being able to work collaboratively to deliver a world-class project. So thank you again. As we often say, right now we're going to put our head down, focus on construction, focus on getting the work done. But I assure you in the next 2 years or by the end of 2027, we'll welcome in this huge mega facility and new water supply for the city of LA. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. All right. Commissioners, any comments or questions? Commissioner Mitchell.
I want to commend the collaborative work by both management teams, both at LACN and DWP. Seems like, the four of us have been on the commission just under a year, and it seems like one of the first things we did was approve this original contract for the construction. So I look forward to, I understand there's big things going on out there in the field, and it is significant that the city of Los Angeles can still do big things. So thank both you and the board, DWP, and the management team as well, and for actually coming together and working on a very significant project that not only basically benefiting the San Fernando Valley, but actually showing us how we can do something even bigger in the future with regard to pure water. So I look forward to that sustained effort to moving for a more resilient type of reuse of our water and leaning less on MWD, the Colorado River, rain, whatever. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you very much. Vice President Chavez.
Yes, thank you. And believe me, it is not lost on me the scale of this project and how the unique interagency partnership that is involved, working hand in hand with LADWP. I think the last time that Public Works and LADWP worked together was for a little project called the LA Aqueduct. So it is exemplary to see. I think it's a great opportunity to learn more about alternative delivery methods, especially progressive design build. I would like to get continued reports to this board about, what we're learning about this, how this can be used as a model for other projects. I mean, I'd love to hear from the contractors in what they're seeing and how lessons learned from this project and other projects that they've worked on in other municipalities can be best utilized in this case, because it is a massive project. And then we're in this for the long haul. It's a 35-year agreement, so we're not going anywhere. Wanted to ask you, in terms of the capacity increase that you mentioned, it's going from 30 to 45 MGD, correct? How does this fit into the broader program strategy for the GWR program? Like, what does that mean for the rest of the program?
Right. So that's a really great overarching question. So we came a long way. A while back, 5 years ago, we thought we can only bring in 19 MGD. So during the design process, we did some studies, additional testing, sampling, and we increased to 25 and 30 MGD without having to make any changes. The goal has always been to maximize what we can with the information that we have. So now we have more information. We can kind of predict the future a little bit better. We went through, just kind of sidetracking a little bit, really, really good progress being made in the water conservation. So 20 years ago, we projected that Tillman was going to be getting a lot of water because people are going to be using a lot of water. Population increase was going to contribute to that, but that has not been the case. Kudos to Water and Power's water conservation efforts. We actually saw the decrease in the flow and kind of stabilize even with the population increase. So we had to reassess everything in terms of how much flow we're getting in the valley. With the initiative that brought up to us in March meeting, it kind of falls in with what we always wanted to do to plan ahead for the future without having to put an additional treatment plant next to it. You know, we have space, but it's going to cost a lot more. So how it blends into the original overall version is that we are able to expand it without having to wait for another 5 or 6 years or 10 years to see more flow coming into the plant. So by the time we have more flow, we'll be ready to take in with some very minimal investment. So I think my answer will be that is how it kind of blends into our original vision, always to maximize what we can get from the valley.
And then what would you say are the most critical design features that are essential to ensuring that the facility is meeting its annual production goals?
So there are quite a lot. As a part of the change order that we're going to discuss, we're digging deeper and expanding the basement. The treatment process remains the same using the membrane filtration process, reverse osmosis, and UV AOP. So that is proven technology. You know, it's been done for 25 years at Orange County. So with that, you know, from the treatment perspective, we're pretty sure we'll meet all the regulations for spreading, even injection as well. For the continuous operation, you know, the critical part is availability of the flow throughout the day. We need to get stable flow getting fed into the AWPF system. We need to be able to catch the flow when there's a lot of flow in the sewer system, like right now, and when everyone's up and taking shower, using the bathrooms, we have a lot of flow. At nighttime, we don't have enough flow. We have about 20% of the daily average. So the critical piece is putting the equalization basins that can catch the flow, store it during the daytime, and slowly release it during nighttime when we need the flow. So that is one single critical piece to the whole program. Without that, we won't be able to run the facility efficiently because we have to ramp it up and down every day. So it's really caused a lot of wear and tear on the process equipment.
Okay, appreciate that background. I'm just curious, you know, if for other, I know that you are a frequent speaker at other events, really telling other municipalities about what we're experiencing here with this project in the area of water reuse. I'm curious what advice you give to other agencies based on what you've learned here in terms of, especially on the partnership side, you know, creating partnerships. Do you have any like recommendations or advice that you give?
Yeah, I think, you know, we can write a book about it, but a few things I wanted to point out is, you know, if you have to do it now, because most likely 99% things will get more expensive and a lot hotter. If we did the project 25 years ago, you know, you could imagine how much it would have costed the city. The 54-inch purple line that was built in 1994, I believe it cost about $45 million, 9 miles from Tillman to Spreading Grounds. Without that investment made, you know, 35 years ago, the cost of water will be a lot higher. So that was a wise investment that the city made. So for other cities that are contemplating into water recycling, do it now. And I really like the progressive design build approach because we can make changes without having to go back and forth and losing time. And the only downside is that the client has to be really invested. You know, you have to be a part of the process all the way through. So, so those are my takes on, you know, I guess getting the project off the ground. The other one is if two agencies have to work together, look out for each other. I always think what Water and Power is going to need not what I need, what our agency is going to need, and angle that on what kind of services we can provide. So not only look out for your agency, but in the equation you have your partner agency that is kind of like a marriage, right? So you always have to consider what your partner is going to need, not what you need. So and communicate often and openly. So some points that I would like to share probably will be those.
Thank you. Well, I'm proud to support this, and I think what we're doing is historic, and we'll continue to be doing this. And it's not just about water reuse or recycling or resiliency. It's really about investing in our future so that we can help the future of Los Angeles become more water independent, which is not too different than the genesis story of Los Angeles. We needed water to become an independent city. So, it's full circle, as they say. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you very much. I'll keep it brief. Yesterday at DWP, thank you for having us, Jesus and your team. Thank you for being here. As you mentioned, and Mayor Bass often says, the importance of locking arms with all of our stakeholders. We're definitely working in close partnership with our DWP and all bureaus and departments across the city. Thank you to Barbara and your team at Sanitation for ensuring that smooth transition related to this item. So with that, seeing no other discussions on this item, I would love for our commissioners, first and second, I think, Vice President Chavez and Commissioner Mitchell, would you like to do the honors?
Sure, I'll move approval.
First by Vice President Chavez, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
Very well. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 5, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and item 5 is adopted and referred to the mayor forthwith.
Thank you very much. Before we move back to item number 3, I do want to bring up Angela Martinez from BCA for a quick presentation. And my apologies for missing that earlier.
Thank you. Good morning, President Kang, commissioners. It's my honor to be here before you. Recently, BCA promoted 4 employees to the title of Chief Construction Inspector. It's my honor today to introduce you to one of them. His name is William Bill Joseph Benson. Bill has over 30 years of experience in the civil engineering and construction fields, including 18 years with the Bureau of Contract Administration. Bill has demonstrated his management and project oversight abilities by managing emergency operations and supervising large inspection teams, such as during our recent wildfire in the Palisades and sewage spills. His major inspection assignments include the Hyperion Plant sewage spill in 2024, Tillman, LA Glendale, and Terminal Island plants, and large sewer and storm drain projects. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and licenses in General Building and Engineering contractors with hazardous materials endorsement. Bill will serve as the divisional manager over the Metropolitan Construction Inspection Division with the Bureau of Contract Administration. It is my honor to present Bill Benson.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, commissioners. Good morning. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to continue working with the board as well as the fellow bureaus, representing the Bureau of Contract Administration as the chief over the Metro Division. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. All right, with that, going back to item number 3 in Council District 6, budget revision, progressive design build contract.
Good morning again. Ryan Thiehat, the Assistant Division Manager with LA Sanitation. I'm here for the item number 3 for the supplemental agreement change order 08 for contract 142633, work order SZD 11259, progressive design build contract for advanced water purification facility. Contractor is Jacobs Engineering. So we're asking the board to authorize the change order in the amount of $808,189.72 for additional design and construction costs to expand the future treatment capacity of the advanced water purification facility. Also asking for authorization for additional contingency amount of $45,797,116.28 for the total budget increase of $159,605,306 even, and approve the revised project budget and authorize the president or two members of the Board of Public Works to sign the supplemental agreement change order, or SACO number 8. So background, we briefly touched on that as a part of the previous item. So this project, this contract, the design phase was awarded in February 2023, right around the Valentine's Day. And subsequently, we went through the whole design exercise, and after completion of the design, the contract was amended to include the construction and performance validation phase in December of 2024. And we started the construction earlier this year. So we're about 10 months in the construction and at about 20% construction completion as of today. The reason the change order is here today is because back in March, we had a historic joint meeting between the Department of Water and Power and Department of Public Works. And there were a lot of discussions about maximizing the recycled water in the city, especially in the valley. So with the direction that we received, we wanted to find ways to maximize the capture potential in the valley. So we went ahead and evaluated options to increase the production capacity at Tillman. And after looking at a few options, our finding was that expanding the basement and upsizing pipes, pumps, and power supply for AWPF is the most economical option for the city. So with that in hand, we proceeded to work with this change order. So LA Sanitation, Department of Water and Power, Bureau of Engineering, and our contractors negotiated the price for the change order in good faith over the last few months. And at the same time, LASN authorized the contractor to utilize up to $8 million from the contractor contingency, which is pulled from the bid item number 8 of the Transmittal 2, so the current contract, to start the work on the redesign, procure necessary equipments, and additional construction work while we go through the supplemental change order agreements. So up to date for this contract, we have 6 change orders, smaller change orders that have been executed, resulting in net decrease of approximately $382,000. We changed some of the scope. Currently, the other change orders, change order 9 and 10, which are smaller in amount, are being initiated. So the figures, figure 2, 3, and 4 of the board memo describe kind of like a simplified version of the rendering of the expansion work. But in summary, the expansion, the change order scope of work includes redesign of the basement, additional shoring and excavation, additional structural concrete, additional yard piping, upgrading to the larger process and mechanical piping and pumps, and additional electrical components. Also includes procurement of additional process equipment, modification of the HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system for the basement and also for the entire building. Modification of the egress and ingress for the entire building, performing the QA/QC on the change order related items, other direct cost, fees, permits, bonds and insurance, and scope gap. So with that, with the supplemental change order, there will be no impact to the general funds, as this is a project supported by the Department of Water and Power. And as we spoke earlier today, the MOA that will pay for this change order was approved by Department of Water and Power yesterday. So with the approval of the previous item number 5, we're able to move this item forward and ask for recommendation. So with that, I would like to also acknowledge the partnership between Bureau of Engineering. I know Ethan you're still here, Bureau of Contract Administration. This is a new delivery project, as we noted. Progressive design build requires a lot of owners' input, and these bureaus are working hand in hand. I couldn't ask for better partnership. So with that, Ethan, if you're okay, I would like to invite you to the podium, maybe say a few words about this contract.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Ethan Long with the Bureau of Engineering, Division Manager for the Environmental Engineering Division. The Bureau of Engineering is very excited to be part of this project and providing construction management support to both LA Sanitation and Department of Water and Power. This becomes the third advanced water purification facility that BOE has supported. And as Jesus mentioned earlier, these projects just become more critical as time goes on. And these are the future of Los Angeles, and recyclable water will definitely be key to that future. So thank you all for the partnership within the Public Works family and Department of Water and Power. Looking forward to your consideration of this change order and hope you support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So before we get into discussions, I know we do have a public comment, single item. Mr. Joe Burleton from Jacobs.
Good morning. I'm Joe Broughton with Jacobs. I'm a Vice President of Design Build, and I'm very honored to be here today. We're your design builder at the Donald C. Tillman Advanced Water Purification Facility, and we're very pleased to be delivering this type of contract for this very important project, a world-class facility. We'd like to start by thanking this Department of Public Works, you, the Board of Commissioners, President Steve Kang, and LA San leadership, Barbara Romero, Ryan Tija, and Ron Mayuyu. We're committed to finishing this project in just over 2 years at the end of 2027 and bringing the advanced water facility online, and we look forward to celebrating with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Mitchell.
I just want to acknowledge that unlike some other material we have read recently with regard to our bureaus working in silos and not collaborating and working across bureau lines, and certainly in this instance, we have BCA, we have engineering, we have sanitation, and we're working across the line with another department to put together a outstanding, along with a great contracting partner, to put together an outstanding infrastructure project that will benefit not just the San Fernando Valley, but all Angelenos, because there are lessons to be learned as part of this particular project, and I look forward to projects in the future that will actually bring this to full fruition in terms of water replenishment and, basically showing that we can do things, large things, what appears to be insurmountable things, when we all work together and collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? I know this board, we want to make sure that this is approved and on time. So with that, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 3, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. Aye. All ayes. Item 3 is approved unanimous.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on with item number 4 for all council district, task order solicitation S-032 Tetra Tech.
Greetings, President, Commissioners, and members of the board. My name is Naomi Deep from LA Sanitation and Environment's Safe Clean Water Implementation Division, which manages and delivers Measure W projects. I am the contract manager for this agenda item. I am here today to request your authority to award the task order solicitation S-032 for Safe Clean Water Program Engagement and Outreach Support to the consultant firm Tetra Tech, Inc., as well as to approve the task order's budget and terms of engagement. Measure W, which established the Safe Clean Water program, presents a more collaborative and educational approach to community engagement. Rather than merely inform communities of project milestones and their impacts, with little to no input from those most impacted, an important component of the Safe Clean Water program is cultivating public support for our initiatives by engaging with the community early during the conceptual phase of our design. These efforts will be led by LA Sanitation's Public Affairs Office's Community Outreach Team. LA Sanitation staff determined that Tetra Tech Inc. provided the best value to the city in terms of their capabilities, expertise, and cost. They demonstrated a strong understanding of the outreach expectations for both general LA sanitation initiatives as well as Safe Clean Water program projects, and their team brings relevant experience from previously managing the community engagement support for LA Sanitation's wastewater program. Under this task order, some of the support services provided by Tetra Tech include meeting with council offices to provide progress project updates, serving as liaison between the project team and LA Sanitation, preparing presentations for community meetings, as well as photography, videography, and other graphic design services, and any other engagement and outreach support as needed. The proposed term of this contract is 2 years with an optional 1-year extension. The total budget is $2.5 million, which includes 10% contingency of $250,000, and will be entirely funded by Measure W's Municipal Program Special Fund. So there is no impact to the general fund. By adopting this task order, we will ensure that LA Sanitation can continue to effectively fulfill its Safe Clean Water goals of providing meaningful public education and community outreach. Thank you for your time and consideration. Myself and the team would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Really quick question. In terms of your task number 2 in the scope, conducting some of the engagement related to community meetings, are you able to elaborate on some of the plans that you have moving forward?
Yes, so typically in our projects, we would first engage with the council office so that they're aware of what we're trying to communicate with the community. Once we have a list of potential and expected stakeholders, we'll usually do some potentially canvassing in person, gathering letters of support from the community, and really providing more information about stormwater management, the importance of the Safe Clean Water program, so that community members better understand why it is that we're trying to bring to their neighborhoods these types of projects and benefits.
All right. Thank you very much. With that, is there a first and a second? First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 4, starting with you, President Grant.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and item 4 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Okay. We'll quickly move to 7 and then come back to 6 to provide ample time. So item number 7, Council District 9 and 14, budget revision, Spinello Infrastructure West.
Good morning. It's still morning. My name is Amala Carino, and I'm a civil engineer with the Bureau of Engineering. And I'm also the project manager for the items today. The Bureau of Engineering is requesting the board to authorize $2,933,919 in addition to contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $38,944,677 for the Central Business District Sewer Rehabilitation Units 13 and 14, Griffith to Grand project. In addition, the Bureau's requesting the board to authorize the city engineer to issue a change order number 6 for the project to one, rehabilitate 326 linear feet of 30-inch circular brick sewer and approximately 301 linear feet of 24-inch circular vitrified clay pipe. Two, construct one new 5-foot diameter maintenance hole. Three, abandon one existing maintenance hole. Four, uh, reinstate existing house connections, install house connection seals. And five, partially remove, reconstruct, and rehabilitate two existing maintenance holes. Some background on the project. The project is located in Council Districts 9 and 14. The project is in construction phase. The contract was awarded to Spinello Infrastructure West on April 26, 2024, in the amount of $34,295,930, with a contingency amount of $1,714,798 for the total approved construction budget of $36,010,758. Now, this project is in construction, as we said, and includes a rehabilitation of 5,040 linear feet, which is a little less than a mile, of brick sewers ranging from 40 to 48 inch. The construction project is primarily located on Washington Boulevard, and the sewer being rehabilitated between Grand and Griffith Avenue is located below the Metro A-line rail tracks and runs parallel to the tracks, so it's literally running under the tracks. Since we are so close to the tracks, most of the work requires heavy coordination with Metro and requires, it takes months of planning to do any work near the tracks, just for everybody's safety. Now, in respect to the change order work that we're asking today, the scope of work for the change order number 6, the rehabilitation of a 24-inch and 30-inch sewers, is located on Maple Avenue and Washington Boulevard, which is part of another project called the CBD Sewer Unit 10 project, and was scheduled for construction to be completed after this project is completed. So again, these two areas they're in the same area, and they butt up to each other. Considering that after this project is complete, the CBD Unit 10 project would start soon after and impact the same community, LA Sanitation, the Bureau of Engineering, in a collaborative effort with the contractor, evaluate whether this work can be completed with this project, since we're already working in the same area. Staff determined that if the change order work was added to this project, the work would cost the city around the same amount of money as if it were constructed in the later project, CBD Unit 10, and it wouldn't impact the current construction schedule, so which is a huge plus. By completing the work today with this project, we will minimize the impact to the community, businesses, light rail commuters, Metro itself, and anybody that's in the area. Metro's operations by not having to disrupt the area today and then come back later in another project. The BOE is proud to report that the LA Sanitation and Environment Wastewater Engineering Services Division and the Clean Water Collection Division support the relocation of the work of the Maple Avenue scope from the CBD Sewer Rehab Unit 10 to this project. With that said, staff recommends the board to authorize the additional contingency and approve the revised budget of $38,944,677 for the project, and 2, to authorize the city engineer to issue change order number 6. This concludes the briefing, and I can take any questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? Quick, I know you're working to help minimize the community impact in terms of the constructions. Can you kind of elaborate, especially with the upcoming holidays? What are some of the plans?
Sure. So in respect to impacts, this project was actually already have construction or lane closures in that same area. So we're taking advantage of those same lane closures that are already planned. For example, one of the things that takes a long time is to get traffic control plans approved through DOT, just because of the backlog. We have a lot of that planned already, so we want to take advantage of that. So the idea is really not come in twice to come in and impact this area. Just take advantage of the closures. In respect to the holidays we're coming to, we were coordinating with the council district themselves. We run it by them. We'll likely have some closure still, but in respect to through streets, everybody still should be able to drive through the areas. And what we do know is that we're working closely with Metro, and we're doing everything possible to work at night so that during rush hour, commuters are not delayed with the trains. So we're doing everything possible, talking to the council district, Metro itself, to minimize the impacts to the community.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions or comments, colleagues? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Very well, we will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 7, starting with you, President Kay.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and item 7 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to our last item, number 6, Bureau of Street Services in Council District 3, tree removal at 5300 North Oakdale Avenue.
Good morning, Honorable Board of Public Works. I'm Brian Ramirez with Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. Bringing before you a request for approval for a fee permit to remove 4 Mexican fan palms for street improvement work relative to a city planning case. For this project, the property owner, Mr. Eric Feller, with Oakdale Estates LLC, is proposing to subdivide 4 parcels into 23 ground lots for the construction of 21 two-story single-family residences. The project is located in Encino, Tarzana community within Council District 3, and the project was previously approved by the Planning Department. The property owner submitted an application. A field inspection was performed by Streets LA, confirming that 4 palm trees did in fact need to be removed for this project to move forward. And getting into the particulars of the palm trees, there's actually 19 Mexican fan palms in front of the project that are in good to fair condition. They measure approximately 19 inches in diameter by 70 to 80 feet tall, which is quite tall. And the palm trees are directly in the footprint of the proposed required improvements. Getting further into the details of these 4 palm trees being removed, 2 of them are being impacted by proposed construction for the driveway and gated entry into the development. Currently, there's like a very small entry that needs to be expanded for fire access and access to the lots altogether. And then 2 other palm trees on the southern portion of the project need to be removed for street improvement. There will be an 18-foot half roadway that will be impacting those 2 palm trees there. For the alternatives, unfortunately, the project scope and the design does not allow for preserving these 4 palm trees, but it is noteworthy to mention that 15 palm trees are being preserved and protected in place throughout construction. As a condition, if the applicant is approved, the applicant shall plant 8 24-inch box-size Chinese pistache trees along Collier Street in accordance with the board's 2-to-1 replacement policy. And then the applicant also proposes to plant an additional 17 street trees along Collier. And I wanted to make that correction on the board report here. It is not 16 additional palm trees, they're proposing 17. So there was extra room for 1 additional tree on top of the 2-to-1. I'll take a moment here to mention also that the recommendation before you on the board report had a correction needed. It was an oversight by our division here. The 3rd recommendation should be struck through altogether, not to be amended or replaced, regarding the replacement of trees on site. So there actually is trees, and for further context and transparency here, our initial inspector that went out, he only assessed the frontage of the property, which is why that recommendation somehow made it onto this report. It was later clarified that the project scope actually addressed the Collier side, which obviously there's a lot of room to plant there. So I just wanted to make that note. And moving on to the Environmental Quality Act, the Planning Department actually prepared the notice of determination for this project. finding that the project, including the tree removals, would have less than a significant environmental effect with incorporation of those mitigation measures within that environmental impact report. For the notifications, the 3rd Council District Office was informed of the tree removal request on September 15th, and no objections were raised by their office. In addition, there was a physical paper notice that was placed on each of these tree removals or proposed removals that were physically posted back in May in 2025. The trees were also included in the removal notification system and the Streets LA website, informing the general public that these tree removals would be heard here at the board. This concludes my presentation. I'm more than happy to take any questions that the board may have at this time.
And just a quick point of clarification for the Bureau. And so the verbal recommendation is to amend the recommendations to strike recommendation number 3 entirely from the list of recommendations. And therefore, we would recommend putting number 4 to number 3.
Correct.
And the other recommendation that you had discussed in your presentation, I don't believe the number of trees is listed in the recommendations. That's in the report itself, right?
It's within the report on the conditions section.
Very well. So the only proposed amendment would be striking number 3 and then moving retitling number 4 to number 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we get into our discussion, I know we have several single item public comment on item number 6. We'll start with in-person speaker. We have Mr. Eric P. Poller. Thank you very much.
Honorable President, Board, thank you for listening to us. I'm the applicant, and I'm here just to kind of be here to answer some questions. We spent a lot of time working with the community to get this project approved. The 4 trees that we're talking about, as was mentioned earlier, were for the entry and then to widen Collier Avenue. Collier Avenue is being widened to a full length from a half street. We have plenty of room to accommodate the 25 trees. I think there was a comment earlier that we were showing 35, but we had to install, it was a condition of our approval to put in street lights. And so we added 8 street lights. And so between removing the trees for the street lights and then adjusting the spacing, we ended up with 25. And I believe there was another comment about replacement of the species. And we originally were proposing a sycamore for those trees. And we were recommended by Urban Forestry to make them Chinese pistache, and we're fine with that. And I'm available for any more questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is David Zahn.
Hello, Commissioners. Eric Fowler covered most of what I wanted to speak to. There were comments made to the file. Wanted to make sure that we're here as the ownership team to address any questions or comments that do come up, but I believe Eric just about covered it. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Knight, do we have any virtual comments?
We do. Marianne indicated that you would like to offer commentary on item 6, if you're prepared.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Marianne King, CFAC Commissioner, speaking on behalf of herself. Thank you for all the explanation, which should have been in the board report. I'd like to know why, when the Community and City Planning Commission approves a landscape plan with 35 sycamores, native trees along Collier, why Urban Forestry decides that 8 shall be Chinese pistache? Why are they changing what the community and commission approved of and wants? So that's number one. Very opposed to the switch out there. And I'm also opposed to the fact that now we have 10 less trees on Collier. If you look at the landscaping plans and renderings, it's all very nice until things are done after the fact. We don't need 8 street lights on Collier. That's ridiculous. If you know this neighborhood, it's like 1 street light per 300 feet. It's semi-rural, estate-type homes, has not changed.
That's
Wells
60
Drive.
seconds.
Please, guys, let's do better.
Thank you. And that concludes the virtual commenters on item 6. Those okay.
Thank you very much. So we have Mr. Ramirez back. Before we open up for discussions here, would you like to address some of the public comments?
Yeah, speaking about the changes between the planning department approval and what you see before you in these recent iterations that are not final iterations, I will say that even the transmittals that are before the board and the public in general, they are actually still in plan check as well, meaning that there may be revisions to plans, and it seems to be that the planning department and the proposed project, whenever that approval was given, it's taken into account a design that's being proposed. I think to the best of the applicant's ability, because there are numerous other conditions that are sometimes placed at future dates. I heard the applicant state that the condition to install streetlights was added. I'm assuming that the 35 tree rendering that was once out in public didn't account for those streetlights. Now that this condition is something that needs to be included and incorporated as part of Bureau of Engineering standards, I can't really speak to how important streetlights are or how they should be spaced. I'm making the assumption that there is a standard that the Bureau of Engineering wants certain streetlights for safety elements, I'm assuming. To that, again, the tree replacement and the determination of what needs to be planted in the public right-of-way does not fall under the jurisdiction of the planning department, but rather this is an issue before the board. The board, under the municipal code, has the jurisdiction on what to select for those species. The Urban Forestry Division is not against natives, and I kind of sense that by some of the comments I've heard. We look at any potential to plant natives, and that's actually the first type of tree that we want to plant. But when we are constrained by the site and the site spacing, we really make recommendations of trees that do well for this specific location. The reason why sycamores were not feasible to make as a recommendation before this board is because sycamore, the western sycamore specifically, is a large tree. If we did plant trees in this, it's a 6-foot parkway, the potential for sidewalk displacement increases, and ultimately the Urban Forestry Division wants to make recommendations that are sound, that would allow for the improvements to remain. So 6 feet for sycamores is a reason why we really couldn't recommend that. The Chinese pistache tree were discussed. They're a medium to a little bit larger size tree, and they do well. They're drought tolerant, and it's a species that is projected to do well in that specific site and in the condition there. And I'm not sure if I touched on all the points by the public comment.
Thank you. Let's open it up for any additional questions or comments. If I could follow up really quickly, just for my knowledge, related to the 35 sycamores and now 25 and the 8 street lights, was that change because of planning requirements, or are you able to kind of elaborate on that point?
Yeah, during the approval process, within our conditions of approval, Department or Bureau of Streetlights added that condition.
And then so eight streetlights was determined by BSL.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then given, I guess, the specification to accommodate the 8 streetlights, we had to reduce the sycamore count from 35 to 25.
Yeah, it was between, with the streetlights and then the natural spacing of the trees. That's what was the outcome.
Okay.
By the way, what a reference, we're also preserving like a 4.5 acre site.
Yeah.
We're planting a lot of trees.
Yeah.
awful lot of trees.
Yes, and I think we definitely recognize that you all made a very concerted effort to present a very thoughtful process to preserve as much of the green space and the urban forestry as possible. So we do appreciate that. Just I know that we received quite a bit of comment related to like the sycamore issues, and which Brian, I think you resolve with in terms of a recommendation number 3, which was canceled out. So thank you. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Ramirez, any last comments?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. I'm okay with some of the explanation that was provided, given the need for streetlights on Collier. And I hope members of the public, with your comments, I think we did make some modifications and elaboration on many of the issues that were raised at today's public comment. So with that, is there a first and a second?
So move.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
Thank you, President Kang.
As amended.
As amended. Thank you so much. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 6, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes, and item 6 is adopted as amended, subject to conditions forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, does that conclude our voting items for today?
Yes, it does, President Kang.
All right. Our next meeting will be on Friday, October 31st, 2025, which is Halloween. So see you then. The meeting is now adjourned at 11:56 a.m.
Thank you, Virginia.